Question 1. In light of recent developments in evasive malware techniques, Maria, a security engineer at a global bank, observes that traditional signature-based detection is failing to identify zero-day threats infiltrating the internal network. She is evaluating threat emulation and threat extraction features on Checkpoint R to harden the organization's email security. Which of the following best describes how Maria could configure the solution to protection against malicious attachments while minimizing false positives and operational disruptions? A. Configure threat extraction to deliver original attachments before threat emulation completes analysis to ensure uninterrupted user access. B. Configure threat emulation to analyze attachments in real time and threat extraction to deliver sanitized content while emulation completes in background. C. Disable threat emulation and only use threat extraction with aggressive stripping of all document content types to ensure safety. D. Threat emulation only for known high-risk file types and configure threat extraction to block everything else. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Option B aligns with best practices recommended by Checkpoint for a balanced protection strategy using threat emulation, sandboxing of suspicious attachments, and threat extraction. Deliver safe, sanitized versions immediately. This reduces risk from zero-day exploits without delaying user access. Option A fails to mitigate threats before delivery. Option C causes excessive user disruption and disables emulation altogether. Option D reduces protection scope by targeting only known types. See Checkpoint R Threat Prevention Admin Guide, Chapter, Threat Extraction and Emulation Best Practices. Question 2. By evaluating a complex NAT scenario, you need to determine the correct NAT rule to ensure that traffic from an internal web server 101.0.1.0.1.0 going out to the internet appears as 192.0.2.2.5 and the incoming requests to 192.0.2.2.5 on port 80 are redirected back to 101.0.1.0.1.0. Which of the following configurations in the manual NAT rule base would achieve this objective? A. Source NAT 10.10.10.10 192.0.2.2.5 a destination NAT original. B. Source NAT original the destination NAT any 10.10.10.10 for des 192.0.2.2.5. C. Source NAT 10.10.10.10 192.0.2.2.5 a destination NAT any 10.10.10.10 for des 192.0.2.2.5. T. Source NAT 10.10.10.10 hide behind gateway a destination NAT any original. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Manual NAT rules allow precise control over both source and destination translation. For bidirectional communication, outbound and inbound NAT, you need static NAT with both source and destination mappings. Option C ensures proper one NAT I mapping source and destination to the correct IPS. Option A doesn't allow inbound redirection. Option B misses source NAT, and option D uses hide NAT, which doesn't support static inbound translation. Reference Checkpoint R admin guide, NAT concepts and rules. Question 3. As demonstrated by a recent internal audit, Nathan, the security administrator for a university campus, notices inconsistencies in enforcing user-based policies across departments. The university uses identity awareness with @query and captive portal for identity acquisition. What action should Nathan take to ensure real-time identity accuracy and policy enforcement while minimizing user friction? A. Switch to using browser-based authentication only to ensure manual verification. B. Implement terminal server agent on all lab machines to get consistent user tracking. C. Replace @query with identity collector to get accurate identity feeds from @. D. Disable captive portal as it causes delays and is redundant with @query. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Identity collector is a superior identity acquisition method introduced in later Checkpoint versions. It offers agentless, real-time identity collection from domain controllers, improving accuracy and reducing load. Option A adds friction and is user-initiated. Option B is suitable only for terminal servers, not for general environments. Option D is incorrect because captive portal still serves as a fallback reference. Checkpoint Identity Awareness Admin Guide by Identity Collector Deployment. Question 4. When considering the configuration of application control URL filtering in Checkpoint R, which of the following best represents? A method to ensure ATEs traffic to risky domains is properly evaluated and controlled at the application layer. ANL SSL inspection with full certificate validation and integrate a trusted certificate into client devices. B. Allow HEEs traffic altogether to risky domains using port-based filtering. C. Use application control to HEES inspection to avoid complexity and latency. D. Only filter based on IP reputation and ENS filtering to avoid SSL challenges. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. To inspect ATEs traffic at the application layer, SSL inspection, TLS interception must be enabled and the gateway must present trusted cosigned certificates to endpoints. Without this, encrypted traffic cannot be decrypted or filtered accurately. Option B is too broad and disrupts usability. Option C limits visibility. And option D is layer 3 for based, not sufficient for application control. C. R Threat Prevention Admin Guide, Chapter TC Subscription and Application Control. Question 5. The most significant aspect of establishing a robust site-to-site VPN between two checkpoint gateways is ensuring secure negotiation. Olivia, a consultant, is configuring the VPN and wants to use certificates instead of pre-shared keys. Which of the following actions must she complete for the VPN to authenticate successfully using certificates? A. Generate and export cosigned certificates for each gateway and manually import them to each other. B. Ensure both gateways are part of the same certificate authority and exchange certificates via internal DNS. C. Issue certificates from ICA, internal CAR, and install them via Smart Console and add each peer to the VPN community. D. Enable VPN acceleration and use ICA for simplified certificate authentication. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Checkpoint supports certificate-based VPN authentication via its internal certificate authority ICA. Option C reflects the correct automation and community-based setup. Option A is manual and error-prone. Option B has technical inaccuracies or DNS certificate exchange. Option D is unrelated. EAN acceleration does not replace authentication mechanisms. Reference RPN Admin Guide, Chapter Certificate-based VPN Configuration. Question 6. From a practical standpoint, what would happen if a security gateway license expires on a Checkpoint R deployment while the management server license remains valid? A. The gateway stops passing traffic, but logging remains active. B. Traffic and management continue uninterrupted for 30 days grace period. C. Policy installation fails, but existing traffic rules continue to function. D. Only the smart event and threat emulation features stop functioning. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If a security gateway license expires, it will not accept new policy installations, although previously installed policies continue to function. This is a critical distinction. Logging continues, but management functions are restricted. There is no grace period for gateways. Only management has 30-day grace period. See Checkpoint Licensing Guide. Question 7. Given the circumstances, Jacob is managing multiple policy packages across a multi-domain environment. He notices that a single misconfigured rule in a shared layer is unintentionally allowing traffic across domains. What should Jacob do to properly isolate policies while maintaining central control? A. Use inline layers with shared policy layers across all domains. B. Convert the shared layer to a domain-specific inline layer and apply it separately. C. Create one global policy and link it with different rule bases in all domains. D. Use ordered layers with domain overriding capabilities enabled. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Using domain-specific inline layers provides local control with inherited global logic but allows override as needed. Shared layers used improperly can create cross-domain policy bleeding, a security risk. Option A and C replicate the same problem. Option D describes a non-existent feature in Checkpoint. Reference Checkpoint Multi-Domain Management Guide, Policy Layers and Inheritance. Question 8. During the process of upgrading the checkpoint gateway, Liam executes a snapshot on Gaia OS, however he forgets to check available disk space. Post-upgrade, the gateway crashes. What could have caused this failure, and how can such issues be prevented in future maintenance cycles? Snapshots consume RAM. A low memory caused crash. B. Snapshots exceed disk space if not validated. Either H to check before snapshots. C. Snapshots interfere with kernel modules during upgrade. Avoid using them before upgrades. D. Snapshots are automatically compressed. Failures are unrelated to snapshots. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Snapshots in Gaia OS are disk intensive, and if taken without verifying available space, DF or H, they can cause crashes or failed upgrades. Snapshots are not memory dependent, and C is incorrect regarding interference with modules. D wrongly assumes compression eliminates risk. Reference Gaia Administration Guide, Snapshots and Backup Best Practices. Question 9. Through careful analysis of logs, a checkpoint administrator notices that certain security events are not appearing in SmartView Monitor. Which of the following is most likely the reason for this behavior? A. The logs are too large for SmartView Monitor to process in real time. B. The firewall blades are misconfigured to send logs to external SIEM only. C. Smart log indexing is turned off, so logs are not searchable. D. SmartView Monitor is for performance metrics. A security event logs are viewed in SmartLog. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. SmartView Monitor is focused on performance monitoring, e.g. bandwidth, CPU, session count, not security event logs. These are viewed in SmartLog. Option D reflects the correct usage of Smart Console tools. The rest are incorrect based on how logs are handled in our reference R Logging and Monitoring Admin Guide. Using SmartView Monitor and SmartLog. Question 10. The core principles of ClusterXL in high availability mode require synchronization of which of the following to ensure uninterrupted traffic failover and minimal impact to connections? A. Only the routing table and interfaces. B. Security policy, state table, and dynamic objects. C. Logs, routes, and all firewall rules. D. Policy packages and administrator credentials. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. ClusterXL relies on state table synchronization and consistent security policy between cluster members to ensure seamless failover. Without state synchronization, connections would reset during a failover. Options A, C, and D contain partial or irrelevant components. See Checkpoint R ClusterXL Admin Guide. Synchronization requirements in HA mode. Question 11. From a historical standpoint, SOFI is leading the deployment of a checkpoint solution for a multinational logistics firm. Due to regulatory data residency requirements, security gateways will be physically deployed in various jurisdictions, but the management must remain centralized. What deployment architecture should SOFI use to maintain regulatory compliance, scalability, and centralized control? Use a standalone deployment in each country to satisfy data locality. B. Implement a multi-domain management system (MDS) with each domain controlling local gateways. C. Use management high availability (HA) with read-only standby servers in each jurisdiction. D. Deploy security gateways globally and control them all from a single security management server. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Multi-domain security management (MDM) is the only architecture that balances centralized control with domain-specific policy and logging, crucial for data residency compliance. Option A is inefficient. Option C misuses HA. It does not support policy delegation per jurisdiction. Option D violates localization needs. Reference Checkpoint R81 Deployment Guide. Question 12. The prevailing attitude toward least privilege principle has prompted Felix, the new administrator, to review Gaia OS administrative permissions. He needs to ensure that help desk users can restart specific services but cannot modify policy configurations. What's the most appropriate approach for Felix? A. Assign them super user role in Gaia portal to allow maximum flexibility. B. Use role-based administration to create custom role with service restart permissions. C. Provide SSH access and train them to use expert mode with sudo. D. Assign them as read-only administrators within Smart Console. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Checkpoint's role-based administration (RBA) on Gaia allows for granular delegation of permissions aligning with least privilege principles and compliance standards like ISO 27001. Option A gives too many rights. C. Increases risk via shell access. D. Limits actions to viewing, not service control. Reference. Gaia Administration Guide. RBA configuration. Question 13. While examining a recent ransomware incident, Anna reviewed threat emulation logs. She noticed several samples were marked benign but were later reclassified as malicious after external intelligence updates. How can Anna enhance the organization's ability to detect and respond to such reclassifications proactively? A. Enable threat emulation on all traffic and rely on automatic policy enforcement. B. Configure threat card intelligence sharing and retroactive alerting with Smart Event. C. Increase emulation timeout to ensure deeper analysis. D. Use threat extraction exclusively to remove all potential malicious content. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Enabling threat cloud intelligence sharing allows Checkpoint to retroactively update verdicts, and using Smart Event ensures real-time visibility and alerts when a verdict changes. Option A is incomplete without event tracking. C. Doesn't solve verdict updates. D. Removes content but lacks emulation context. Reference. Checkpoint Threat Prevention Guide. Intelligence updates. Question 14. Despite the fact that regular backups are scheduled, Peter is unable to restore the Smart Console policy database after a disk failure. Upon investigation, he discovers only Gaia OS backups were being taken. What could have prevented this issue, and how should backups be handled moving forward? A. Enable the snapshot and backup sync to unify Gaia and security management data. B. Implement scheduled Gaia snapshots through Smart Console. C. Use the migrate export command to back up the management database separately. D. Schedule backup from the CLI using the backup command only. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Migrate export is the correct method to export and restore the full management database, including policies and objects. Gaia OS backups cover system config, not the full Smart Console database. Options A and B must understand what snapshots backups include. D. Excludes policy data. Reference. Checkpoint IR backup and restore admin guide. Management server backup. Question 15. The underlying principle of rule-based layering allows for modular security policy management. Carlos notices that changes to the shared inline layer are propagating across all policy packages, causing unintentional policy enforcement in unrelated environments. How can you mitigate this while still leveraging reusable policies? A. Convert the inline layer to ordered layer for more separation. B. Clone the shared layer into multiple domain-specific inline layers. C. Lock the shared layer to read-only and assign override permissions per domain. D. Move shared rules into the access control-based layer to unify enforcement. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Cloning the shared layer allows each domain or policy package to customize the logic without affecting others. Key for separation of duties and least privilege. Option A may not fix propagation. C doesn't allow true separation. D centralizes control unnecessarily. Reference. Checkpoint policy layer management best practices. Question 16. To illustrate this point, consider a case where Elliot is tasked with ensuring students at an academic institution cannot access streaming services during class hours but can access them otherwise. What is the best method to achieve this using Checkpoint ARA? Use a static URL lock list enforced by a time-based rule. B. Create an application control rule using time object and user group match. C. Configure bandwidth throttling for streaming IPs. D. Block ports associated with streaming and UDNS filtering. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Checkpoint's application control can enforce time-based and user group-specific rules ideal for education environments. Option A lacks flexibility. C doesn't block access, only reduces speed. D is ineffective for HETs and domain-based apps. Reference. Application Control Admin Guide. Time Objects and Identity Awareness Integration. Question 17. In what ways can a checkpoint management server in a distributed architecture ensure high performance and scalability for large enterprises with thousands of gateways and millions of log entries per day? A. Use a single management server with increased RAM. B. Enable multi-queue on all interfaces for log processing. C. Deploy a multi-domain management server with dedicated log servers. D. Offload policy installation to remote gateways during maintenance windows. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Multi-domain security management (MDM) with dedicated log servers allows separation of duties, load balancing, and efficient log processing. Ideal for large-scale environments. Option A. Bottlenecks. Option B. Refers to traffic processing, not management. D. Is not scalable or efficient. Reference. Checkpoint R Architecture Guide. Large-scale design. Question 18. Across different scenarios, hybrid workforces require flexibility and secure access. Lee is configuring remote access VPN for a globally distributed team. She must ensure strong authentication, seamless user experience, and minimal administrative overhead. What's the best solution in Checkpoint ARA? Use SAML-based authentication with identity awareness and mobile access blade. B. Configure static password VPN with radius fallback. C. Install endpoint security VPN client with internal user database only. D. Require opt tokens with manual provisioning for each user. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. SAML integration. E. G. With Azure and Okta provides strong federated authentication, minimizes user management overhead, and integrates with mobile access blade for user-friendly access. B is weak. C. Limits authentication flexibility. D is secure but administratively complex. Reference. Remote Access Admin Guide. SAML and Identity Awareness. Question 19. To determine whether a policy installation failure is caused by a syntax error in the policy or a communication problem with the gateway, what is the most effective method an administrator should use in Checkpoint ARA? Recipe view and check policy verification logs. B. Use Smart Console's policy installation history and verify error type. C. Review Smart Event for failed traffic logs. D. SSH to the gateway and retolo also. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Smart Console provides detailed logs in the policy installation history indicating whether the failure was due to syntax, verification, connectivity, or install time errors. Option A shows performance stats, not policy details. C is unrelated. D is unnecessary and risky. Reference. Policy installation troubleshooting or admin guide. Question 20. With the advent of smart event correlation, Marcus wants to detect stealthy port scanning across multiple gateways. What is the most efficient way to implement this using Checkpoint R tools? A. Create a smart event correlation rule using event rate thresholds. B. Enable port scan detection on each gateway in IP settings only. C. Use a custom script to pass raw logs from varlog directory. D. Configure geoprotection for known scanning regions. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. Smart event correlation rules are designed to detect multi-event distributed anomalies like port scans. It aggregates logs across gateways and uses thresholds. Option B is local and may miss distributed scans. C is inefficient. D doesn't address scanning directly. Reference. Smart Event Admin Guide. Correlation Rule Design. Question 21. While it is true that site-to-site VPNs enhance security between remote offices, Eric, a network engineer, finds that tunnel negotiation fails after upgrading the remote gateway to R.10. The local gateway remains on R.40. He suspects that like phase 1 is not completing successfully. Which of the following is most likely the cause? A. The local gateway does not support SHA-256 used by the upgraded peer. B. Mismatched VPN communities prevent the peers from initiating tunnels. C. Incompatible encryption domains or aggressive mode mismatch. D. The upgraded gateway requires dynamic objects in the encryption domain. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Like phase 1 failures often stem from encryption domain mismatches, aggressive domain mode conflicts, or incorrect pre-shared keys. R.40 and R.10 are compatible but still require aligned phase settings. Options A and B may cause issues but aren't typical for like phase 1 dynamic objects. D are unrelated. CVP and admin guide interoperability issues. Question 22. To better understand policy enforcement, Samantha tests installing a modified policy package that contains a newly added ordered layer. However, she notices that traffic is being dropped despite the rules being correct. What is the most probable cause of this behavior? A. The new ordered layer is positioned below a cleanup rule that blocks all traffic. B. Inline layers override ordered layers unless explicitly allowed. C. The layer lacks a drop rule at the top, allowing implicit deny. D. Ordered layers do not support time-based objects or track settings. Answer. Correct answer, an explanation. Ordered layers are processed top-down, and if a cleanup rule drop all exists above a newly added layer, the traffic is dropped before it's evaluated in the new layer. Option B misrepresents behavior. C is not required. D is incorrect. Ordered layers support time and track settings. Reference access control policy layers. R81 guide. Question 23. From a practical standpoint, Chris is reviewing firewall logs and sees that some critical services like HETs are unreachable during policy installation. He suspects Gaia OS configuration issues. What command should Chris run to validate that Gaia is listening on the expected interfaces and ports? A. Netstat nap grep listen. OELE drop. C. epconfig. D. Show configuration interfaces. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Netstat nap grep listen shows active listening services and ports helping verify if Gaia's accepted SATs on expected IPs. Option B shows dropped traffic, not listening status. C changes product settings, and D shows interfaces, not services. Reference Gaia CLI commands reference guide. Question 24. Examining the consequences of advanced persistent threats, apps Lucy enables anti-bot and antivirus blades. Yet she receives complaints that file downloads and browsing have become slower. How can Lucy ensure performance remains optimal while maintaining threat prevention? A. Increase logging granularity and enable extended logging. B. Move to a dedicated threat prevention policy layer in use. Detect instead of prevent. C. Apply threat prevention only to internal zones, not internet-facing interfaces. D. Use exceptions for known good traffic and enable background mode emulation. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Creating exceptions for trusted traffic and enabling background threat emulation mode improves user experience while maintaining protection. Option A increases load. Option B weakens security. C misses external threat vectors. Reference Threat Prevention Performance Tuning, our guide. Question 25. The validity of contract services directly impacts the availability of security updates. If a checkpoint customer's threat prevention subscription expires, what is the immediate operational impact? A. The firewall stops inspecting traffic using threat prevention blades. B. Updates for threat emulation and IPs cease, but existing protections continue. C. Threat prevention features are completely disabled immediately. D. Access control policy becomes read-only until the contract is renewed. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Upon expiration of the threat prevention contract, new signature S updates stop, but existing protections still function. No features are immediately disabled. Option A is incorrect. Inspection continues. Option C is too extreme. Option D relates to licensing, not threat prevention. C. Checkpoint licensing guide. Contract behavior. Question 26. By evaluating administrator behavior, Morgan finds that firewall rules refer to multiple redundant host objects with identical IPs but different names. What's the best strategy to resolve this and improve policy efficiency? A. Delete all duplicate objects and recreate policies with correct references. B. Use Object Explorer to find duplicates and merge them using a used analysis. C. Disable unused objects and hide them in the Smart Console view. D. Create network groups containing all host objects to simplify references. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Checkpoint Smart Console's Object Explorer and were used to allow merging and deduplication without breaking policy references. A. Risks misconfigurations. C. Doesn't reduce duplication. D. May hide the problem, not resolve it. Reference. Smart Console Object Management. Question 27. Contrary to popular belief, radius authentication alone may not meet modern multi-factor authentication (MFA) requirements. Jordan wants to implement MFA for remote access BPA users in a secure and scalable way. What's the best approach? A. Combine LDAP and radius into chained authentication object. B. Use SAML-based authentication with third-party identity providers. C. Require local user accounts with passwords only. D. Deploy URL-based certificate validation for all users. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. SAML integration allows use of MFA-capable identity providers. E.g. Azure Ad Opta, improving security and scalability. Option A is limited. C. Lacks scalability. D. Focuses on certificates, not MFA. Reference. Remote Access VPN Admin Guide. SAML configuration. Question 20. A critical examination of Marcus log server shows missing logs during peak hours. He suspects overload. What checkpoint feature allows Marcus to verify log indexing health and ensure smart log performance is maintained? A. CPU logging section. B. Smart Event Analyzer tool. C. Smart Console logs indexing status. D. Smart log lie after log in command. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Smart Console's indexing status shows whether logs are being indexed properly and flags performance issues. A. Shows general stats. B. Is unrelated to log indexing. D. Retrieves logs but doesn't show indexing health. Reference. R. Logging Guide. Smart log performance tuning. Question 29. In summary of a performance issue in a high-throughput data center, Bianca identifies that EPU cores are underutilized even though traffic is high. What architectural features should be reviewed and tuned for maximum parallelism? A. CoreXL and SN to worker core distribution. B. SecureXL acceleration settings. C. Policy layers and number of rules. D. Management server EOS settings. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. CoreXL divides workload across secure network distributors SNDS and worker cores, optimizing traffic handling. Misconfigured CPU core distribution limits performance. B. Affects acceleration but not core usage directly. C. Affects latency in CPU. D. Is unrelated to gateway traffic. Reference. CoreXL Admin Guide. Performance optimization. Question 30. The foundation of disaster recovery planning includes a reliable backup strategy. During a compliance audit, it's discovered that Eva has been using only Gaia OS snapshots. What is major risk with this approach alone? A. Snapshots do not include security policy or logs. B. Snapshots cannot be restored without cloud license. C. Snapshots override all running services after restoration. D. Snapshots are only available via client, not scriptable. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Snapshots capture OS configuration but not management data. G. Smart Console policy, logs, objects. Sole reliance on them risks losing core policy configuration. B. Is incorrect. Snapshots are local. C. Is irrelevant. D. Is false. Snapshots are scriptable. Reference. Gaia backup strategy. Admin Guide.